So, have you ever wondered what actually powers the massive architecture behind the modern internet? Today, in this explainer, we're pulling back the curtain on big data. Think about frameworks like Hadoop, or how tech giants process millions of requests every single second. They're handling absolutely staggering amounts of data, and somehow not a single computer melts down. How? Well, it's all thanks to an invisible, brilliantly engineered architecture known as a distributed system. To really grasp why this matters, I want you to imagine that all of your critical data lives on just one massive centralized computer. What happens when that single machine suddenly crashes? Literally everything stops. It's a total catastrophe, right? But what if instead you had a self-healing cluster of machines? If one server goes down in flames, another one just seamlessly steps right in to take its place. That's the real magic of distributed computing. It gives us this beautiful illusion of perfect order and reliability, even when the underlying hardware inevitably fails.
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly is a distributed system? Fundamentally, it's a collection of autonomous components, we call them nodes, located on networked computers. Now, each node has its very own private memory and processor, and they coordinate their actions strictly by passing messages to one another to achieve a common goal. So, to you, the end user, it looks and feels like one single, flawless computer. But underneath, it is an absolute masterclass in creating an illusion. It's really this intricate dance of dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of independent machines all working together as one.
But, as you might guess, building these systems is incredibly tricky. I want you to picture a futuristic warning HUD flashing red, because engineers are constantly battling what we call the fallacies of distributed computing. And this is true whether these nodes are communicating over high-speed wired fiber optics, standard wireless connections, or even low-power wide-area networks, like LPWAN for IoT devices. The fallacies always apply. It's so tempting to assume that a network is always reliable, or that latency is zero, or that bandwidth is infinite, or even that transport cost is free. But those are really dangerous myths. In reality, networks are deeply unpredictable. Communication delays are just an unavoidable fact of physics, and keeping this vast infrastructure running costs serious time and money. I mean, we've all yelled at our home Wi-Fi when a video buffers, right? Now, scale that up and imagine that kind of packet loss happening across a multi-million-dollar data center. As data travels across wide area networks connecting these massive facilities, it slaps into hard physical limitations. We're talking queuing delays, packet loss, bottlenecked bandwidth, and connections that just drop out of nowhere. If you're designing a reliable distributed system, you have to drop those false assumptions immediately. You literally have to actively expect, plan for, and survive these exact failures on a continuous daily basis. And when things do eventually break, how they break really matters. Let's look at two totally different types of failures. First up, there's the fail-stop scenario. This is on the absolute simplest end of the spectrum. A server crashes and cleanly dies. It's just gone. The rest of the network easily detects the silence, realizes it's missing, and elegantly routes around it. Simple, right? But then, there's the nightmare scenario, the Byzantine failure. In this case, the node doesn't just quietly die. Instead, it acts erratically. It starts generating arbitrary or completely corrupted data, throwing a massive wrench into the system, all while somehow still looking perfectly healthy to a subset of the other nodes. So the crucial takeaway here is this specific definition. A Byzantine fault is a failure that presents totally different symptoms to different observers. It completely hides whether a component has actually failed or not. It's kind of like a faulty node acting as a deceptive coworker, right? Telling one server, hey, everything is fine, I'm working hard, while intentionally feeding completely corrupted, nonsensical data to another. System architects consider these the absolute most complex and difficult class of failures to handle, simply because the faulty node is actively deceiving the rest of the network, which creates massive confusion for any failure detection systems trying to monitor the network's health. To really visualize why this is so catastrophic, let's look at a classic analogy, the famous Byzantine generals problem. Imagine several generals surrounding a city, and they need to agree on a coordinated attack. Step 1, they plan the attack. But in step 2, a traitor among them sends out conflicting orders. He tells some generals to attack at dawn and tells others to retreat immediately. So, in step 3, the good generals receive these totally mixed messages and fundamentally disagree on the strategy. Just like that traitor, a single bad node can entirely disrupt consensus. And if it isn't properly handled, that lack of agreement cascades into a total, catastrophic, system-wide failure. Now, to prevent all that behind-the-scenes chaos from ever reaching you, engineers rely on a concept called failure transparency. When you're simply searching for a file, checking your email, or streaming a movie,
Servers might literally be crashing left and right in the background. But clever engineering hides all of this chaos from the user. Honestly, the ultimate goal of a distributed system is to lie to you, in a good way, of course. It wants to make sure you never have to care that a hard drive just exploded halfway across the world. The system automatically detects the failure and seamlessly recovers using backup components. This ensures absolute service continuity without you ever noticing a single glitch.
So how exactly does it pull off that transparency? Well, the ultimate hero of this story is distributed replication. This is basically the practice of copying data or services across multiple, dynamically scaled nodes scattered throughout the network. If one server goes completely dark, boom, another replica instantly steps up to take the load. This redundancy provides immense fault tolerance and high availability, which are literally the absolute pillars of modern web architecture. It also makes it incredibly easy to scale out the system horizontally. You just add more nodes as your traffic and workload demands increase.
But here is a critical question, and it's one that keeps system architects up at night just staring at the ceiling. Can we truly have it all? Can a distributed system simultaneously guarantee that your data is perfectly up to date everywhere at all times, and that it is always accessible 24/7 without exception, and that it is completely immune to those inevitable network crashes we discussed earlier? Now, what's really interesting about this is how it leads us to the ultimate architectural dilemma, the famous CAP Theorem. It states that a distributed data store can only provide two of the following three guarantees in the event of a network failure. First, consistency, meaning all reads receive the most recent write, or an error. Second, availability, meaning all reads receive data, even if it happens to not be the most recent. And third, partition tolerance, meaning the system continues to operate despite drop network connections between nodes. The hard mathematical truth of the CAP theorem? You simply cannot have all three. And here is where it gets very real. Partition tolerance is non-negotiable because distributed systems naturally operate across sprawling networks, and those networks will absolutely, inevitably fail or drop connections. Partition tolerance is an absolute must. You have to have it. So when a network partition happens, the system forces engineers to make a truly tough choice between the remaining two elements. Do you guarantee consistency or do you guarantee availability?
This essentially builds into a practical sliding scale. Imagine a user makes a query right in the middle of a major network issue. We can prioritize high availability by instantly responding with whatever current value the server has on hand, even if a recent update is stuck in transit somewhere else in the network. Or conversely, we can prioritize high consistency. In that case, we make the system wait for the newest write to arrive, but in doing so, we risk the system timing out entirely and returning a frustrating error to the user if the network doesn't recover fast enough.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world impact. Think of your bank account. When you log into your banking app, you do not want to see an available but outdated account balance that says you still have $1,000 if you actually just paid your rent. The bank must return the exact, consistent value of your account. In this specific case, sacrificing availability, perhaps making you wait a moment with a loading spinner or even showing an error if a backend sync fails, is far better than giving you inaccurate financial data that could completely ruin your day. Now contrast that with an online store's shopping cart. E-commerce businesses generally prioritize availability above almost everything else. They want you to be able to add items to your cart and make purchases 24/7 without any interruption whatsoever. If the system's background data syncs a little late, or maybe a product review doesn't load instantly because of a momentary network partition, that's an absolutely acceptable trade-off to keep the checkout process highly available and the sales flowing continuously. This fundamental understanding of trade-offs directly shapes the big data reality of today. It's exactly why massive ecosystems like Hadoop or NoSQL databases like MongoDB and Cassandra even exist. Unlike your conventional relational databases, these options utilize distributed architectures to handle massive, unstructured datasets, which are often stored in schemaless JSON documents. They're explicitly designed to scale their clusters across multiple nodes seamlessly, offering strong resilience without a single point of failure. Some even let you turn a virtual knob, letting you actively choose between consistency and availability on the fly, depending entirely on what your specific application needs in that exact moment. To wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this really insightful quote from computer scientist Eric Brewer, the very person who initially proposed the CAP theorem. He clarified that the modern CAP goals should be to maximize combinations of consistency and availability that make sense for the specific application. Distributed systems aren't about achieving some impossible, flawless perfection. They're a dynamic, ever-shifting puzzle. They're about intelligently balancing trade-offs, mitigating Byzantine faults, designing for fault-tolerant replication, and navigating the CAP theorem to resiliently power our modern data-driven world. So the next time you send a message, check your bank balance, or add an item to a cart, I want you to ask yourself, what invisible compromises is the network making right now just to keep your digital world spinning?